তাহলে আমার লোক কোথায় আর আমি যদি বেরিয়ে আসি মাশরুম কাল্টিভেশন তাহলে আমরা এখানে রয়েছি মাশরুম কাল্টিভেশন এই এমএপি ইত্যাদি করে এখানে 4 বছরের গ্র্যাজুয়েশন তো আরোই ছেলেমেয়েরা মানে আমাদের মেয়েদের কলেজ আরোই পড়বে না বরং যদি একটু কারণ কিছু করবে তা তো নয় জেনারেল যারা করছে তাদের যদি একটু এইসব শিখিয়ে যদি ইকুইপ করা স্কিল ওরিয়েন্টেড না করলে সত্যিই হবে না তাহলে আমি 3টে পেলাম একটা মাশরুম পেলাম আমারটা বলবো না 27 তারিখে বলবো কারণ তুমি তাহলে 27 তারিখে যাবো ঠিক আছে না করলেই নয় আর ছাত্র সংখ্যা কমে যাচ্ছে উচ্চ মাধ্যমিক কমবে উচ্চ মাধ্যমিক কমলে ইউজি কমবে মানে এটা তো সিকুয়েন্সিয়াল ড্রেনেজ টু আদার স্টেটস মানে এটা কোন হিসেবে আসে ম্যাক্সিমাম আদার স্টেটস থেকে কিছু না কিছু পড়ছে মানে কিছু না এক্সপ্যান্ডেড কোর্স অফার করে সাউথ পয়েন্ট সিবিএসসি করে দিল মানে বাংলায়
আমরা চিন্তা
করতেও পারি
আমাদের কোর্স সিলেবাস নিয়ে ভালো
স্ট্রিমের একমাত্র জুওলজিস্টদের ওইখানে বোর্ডে বসে যারা সিলেবাস দিচ্ছে যার জন্য বটানি মার্ক খাচ্ছে জুওলজি মার্ক জাস্ট জুওলজি যার জন্য জুওলজি ক্রেজটা বেশি বটানিটা ওরা যদি একটা লাইফ সায়েন্স বটানি পড়তে চায় না তারপর যখন ভর্তি হয় তখন বুঝতে পারে না যে কি আছে অ্যাকচুয়ালি তো ওটা যদি সিবিএসসি দেখে
সিলেবাস মাধ্যমে
বললেন না সিলেবাস এনসিআরটি যে জানা আছে
সস্তায় শিখবি
আজকে খুব সুন্দর লাগে এই যে বাড়িতে পাঁচ পাতা আমি দিচ্ছি পরে বাড়িতে তুলে দেবো আর অন্য টবে প্যাকেট
নষ্ট হচ্ছে এটা ফুলটাকে দিচ্ছি না আমরা গাছটাকে ফুল তো মানুষ হ্যাঁ ফুলটা তো মানুষ ফেলে দেবে গাছটা কিন্তু রেখে দেবে
না এটা কি গাছ বলো না ফুল গাছ
ইনডোর
তুমি কি যাবে আমার ভাইটা একটু
হ্যাঁ ভাই করো
হ্যাঁ তুমি কমিউনিকেট করো নিচে কমিউনিকেট করো বাবা একটু সামনে দেখি
চলো এই তো ওরা পুরো হ্যাঁ নিচে নিয়ে এসে দাঁড়িয়ে
The garlanding ceremony has begun, and just after this we'll start the academic walk. We have our dignitaries here. We have our Vice. We also have, very pleased to have Professor Sougata Mahua. She is GB member and also the chairman of Brahmananda, followed by Madam PC Ma'am, Professor Mahua, and then Professor Sougata, Honorable Member of Parliament, Sugata.
না একটু কাছে ওকে
বাস্কেটবলও আছে।
পৌরসভা 2001 থেকে
2000 আমাদের সবাই আস্তে আস্তে নির্দেশ করে কোমরে এত ব্যথা না স্যার, গাড়ি বাম করে তো এটা নেই তো।
বেল্টও পরে
academic walk. For the first, speak and stand in their own position for the academic walk. In our academic procession, we have Professor Papia Chakravarti, Honorable Principal, Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College. We have Professor Mahua Das, Honorable Vice Chancellor, West Bengal State.
And Srimati Aparna Modi, Chairman.
We also have in the academic procession, we have Dr. Moinul Islam and Dr. Kalpataru Haldar.
Our academic procession comprises of Srimati Shushmita Haldar, Honorable Teacher Council Secretary, Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College, and Dr. Sheikh Ahmed. To make this morning a blessed one, let us invoke Goddess Saraswati.
P. Chakraborty, Principal, Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College, will deliver welcome address and present a report of the activity of the college, Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College. Madam, please.
Today we have gathered here to confer degrees to the passed out postgraduates. I welcome all the dignitaries seated on the dais. Professor Sougata, Honorable Member of Parliament, welcome you, sir. Professor Mahua, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, of our university, West Bengal State University. I welcome you, ma'am. Srimati Aparna Maulik, Baranagar Municipality Chairman, I welcome you, ma'am. And our governing body members who are all seated on the stage. Pankaj Kumar Mondal, I welcome you, sir. Moinul Islam, I welcome you. Dr. Shampa Mitro, welcome you here. And Kalpataru Haldar, also welcome. And I welcome our IQAC coordinator, Sheikh Ahmed Hussain, sir. So together we'll begin this ceremony. It gives me immense pleasure and satisfaction to be a leading part of the journey of this historically significant academic venture of Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College. Notably, this is a UGC registered postgraduate college under 2F and 12B and is one of the premier institutes in North 24 Parganas. Initially affiliated to University of Calcutta and now been affiliated to West Bengal State University since 2008 and 9. Established in 1956 at Honb'le in Baranagar, in an area with a large number of poverty-stricken but determined refugee population, an area with a historicity where the seeds of Bengal Renaissance grew into trees of Indian Renaissance. The college is serving the society relentlessly throughout. Historically speaking, there was a very powerful popular movement demanding the establishment of degree colleges in all three adjacent municipal areas of Kashipur, Baranagar and Belghoria. In the mid-50s, a Baranagar Education Society was established, led by Principal J.K. Chaudhary of Vidyasagar College, a resident of Baranagar. Finally, the college was established in 1956 as a part of implementation of the report by a committee appointed by the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Dr. B.C. Roy, the Chief Architect of Modern Bengal, and chaired by Professor Gyan Chandra Ghosh, a famous scientist and the Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University. The college was thus established in Honb'le in the year 1956 as one of the 6 colleges under this scheme, with the aim of providing higher education, and was named after Brahmananda Keshab Chandra Sen, the great socio-religious reformer of the country during Renaissance. Initially, the college was housed at Sagar Free High School, Kamarati, and later moved on to its own present premises in 1957. So, we can all understand how old the college is, and the building is that too old. The Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College was then established within a sprawling 6 acres of land in an extended eco-friendly campus overviewing a huge lake at 111 by 2 BT Road, Kolkata 700108. Now, aimed at disseminating higher education, including undergraduate and postgraduate, inclusive of the poorer families of backward and deprived society, ensuring social justice, raising socio-cultural awareness among students and all other participants in the process, the college has been showing gradual progression throughout the years. The college now runs 18 undergraduate and 3 postgraduate departments as BA, BSc and MSc programs respectively under the choice-based credit system of West Bengal State University. Apart from these regular courses, There are 17 add-on or certificate courses run by various departments throughout the semesters for skill enhancement and increasing the employability. The IQAC, that is Internal Quality Assurance Cell, regularly monitors the progression of the students through various feedback mechanisms from all the stakeholders and organizes seminars for quality enhancement of the students as well as teachers. A one-week national level workshop on data analytics was organized by IQAC in collaboration with SQC and Operation Research Division of ISI Calcutta during July 2019, just before the pandemic. And during the pandemic, the IQAC organized online faculty enrichment program on ICT tools in teaching, learning and evaluation for the teachers of the college during September-October 20, when the teachers were totally ignorant on how to deal with online situation. So we had organized such courses, such workshops. The rank holders of WBSU examination and the top scoring students of various departments are awarded by IQAC every year at the annual social function organized by Students' Union. Now the rank holders of WBSU, there are various departments which has produced rank holders under WBSU from this college. The college has a registered alumni association which encourages our students every year with prizes and medals for the top performers. Just before the pandemic, a reunion was organized on 23rd January 2020 by the Alumni Association along with the Teachers' Council of the college, where many eminent alumni of this college gathered here and exchanged views. The Active Career Counseling and Placement Cell holds regular seminars and runs courses on soft skill development and employability for the holistic grooming of the outgoing students. A career fair was organized in January 2020, just before the pandemic, which was inaugurated by Director of MSME Kolkata, benefiting around 200 students of the college and also nearby schools and colleges. About 10 companies offered various career opportunities participated in the Career Fair 2020. The IIC, Institution Innovation Cell of the college, has signed a MOU with EUA Center for Incubation, Adamas University, a center supported by BIRAC, Biotechnology Industry and Research Assistance Council, on translational research, innovation and entrepreneurial development on 5th December 2022. It is noteworthy to say that 5 undergraduate students of the Department of Zoology have already joined the EUA Center BIRAC as fellows under the mentorship of faculty and have obtained the sanction of 2.5 lakhs as research grant from December 2022, tenable for a year. The students are also encouraged to undergo summer training courses in other institutes of repute. A student of UG Physics Honours have been appreciated by NASA in recognition of valuable contributions to observations of near-Earth objects and main belt asteroids by participating in the analysis of images from Pan stars in 2022. This student is now studying in Italy, pursuing higher studies. The college magazine, Lekho Manjuri, and the biannual newsletter BKCC News focuses and highlights the activities of the college and achievements of our students. The Department of Industrial Fish and Fisheries publishes a newsletter, Splash and Shoal, in a bilingual mode. The Department of English has started publishing a journal titled The Lakeside Review, devoted to self-composed poems and articles by the students from 2021. All departments are encouraged to publish in wall magazines regularly, where the students are given specific topics for the year. The college has been awarded the District Green Champion in 2021 amongst all colleges of North Chobbish Pargona by Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education, Ministry of Education, Government of India, for successfully setting up the SAP committee, that is Swachhata Action Plan Committee, adopting and implementing best practices in areas of sanitation, hygiene, waste management, water management, energy management and greenery management. It is noteworthy to state that the college is running under solar power generation of 15 kilowatt, wherein the installation of the solar panel is visible on the rooftop of the main building of the college. Also, the inspection for setting up the rainwater harvesting and treatment plant has already been done by Government of West Bengal. In the IIRS BKCC outreach program, that is Indian Institute of Remote Sensing on GIS and remote sensing, BKC College has joined hands with Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dehradun, as one of the nodal centers in Calcutta for carrying out outreach activities on geospatial tools for building its students' credibility from June 2020. A total of 45 students have participated in 7 outreach programs conducted by IIRS BKCC in 2020. An online course on geoinformatics for biodiversity conservation planning was also organized by IIRS BKCC during December 2021, benefiting our UG and PG students. The ECEL 2021-22 of IIT Kharagpur has presented the Certificate of Excellence to our college in recognition of our college as the training center for the program on basic techniques in molecular biology by Make Intern and ECEL IIM Calcutta, held during December 21 to January 22 for the undergraduate and postgraduate students of all the colleges. As an extension of the community outreach program, National Science Day is being celebrated by IQSC every year on 28th February, where all the neighboring schools are invited to visit our laboratories and watch live demonstrations by our students and faculty. This happened, a very big event had happened during the year 2020, but after the pandemic, during the pandemic, a one-day national seminar on futuristic scenario of biofuels was organized by the Department of Chemistry to commemorate National Science Day in 2021. A students' webinar was organized by the Department of Physics on different aspects of electromagnetic wave on the National Science Day in 2021. This year we are going to celebrate National Science Day on 28th February in the same way as we did before the pandemic. We have invited 20 schools. So the 36th Annual History Conference organized by Paschim Bongo Itihash Samshad in collaboration with Department of History in the college in January 2020, just before the pandemic, was given the international status due to notable attendees from a neighboring country, Bangladesh. The conference keynote address was given by Professor Sougata, Gardia Professor of History, Harvard University. A total of 340 papers have been presented in 3 days of the conference, where also a seminar on Keshab was organized during the conference. The NSS, National Social Service Unit of the college, is highly active in its commitment to the causes of the society. It has adopted a slum in the developed area where they are working regularly to help and educate the children of the slum. It organizes various awareness campaigns and programs, namely on thalassemia, breast cancer, dengue and Alzheimer's, as well as highlights on their screening methods. The social media cell of the college has been functional in handling the Facebook page, Instagram and Twitter accounts by regularly posting the events of the college. The college has an active YouTube channel, BKCC Classroom, where class lectures, seminar lectures and workshop lectures, as well as various events of the college are being regularly uploaded. The old website of the college, bkccollege.org, are being gradually replaced by the new website bkcc.ac.in as per requirements of NAC. In order to provide a platform to students for expressing their creativity, a literary society page of the college was created on Facebook by the Department of English. Poems and artwork by students are regularly shared on the page. 2 English students have published their poems in the bilingual magazine Setu, published from the US in July 2021 issue titled Figures of Thought, Collegiate Voices Across Spaces. The ICC, Internal Complaints Committee, addresses issues of complaints as well as organizes seminars to promote gender equality and healthy relationship, which is the need of the hour amongst the distressed students. Now, it is noteworthy to say that the year 2020 and 2021 has been a memorable year for all, as we were all confined due to COVID-19 pandemic since March 20. There have been several constraints as an aftermath of the lockdown and sufferings amongst the families of most of our stakeholders. However, during the peak days of the COVID-19 pandemic, several international and national webinars were organized by our institution, when we could gather eminent scientists throughout the globe and address issues related to COVID-19 and enrich our knowledge about the current issues. The international webinar series on role of biotechnology in COVID-19 pandemic issues and challenges were jointly organized by all life sciences during June 20. A national level webinar on COVID-19 pandemic and changing business environment was organized by IQAC with Department of Economics in July 20. A week-long online international workshop on statistics and machine learning in practice was organized by IQAC and Department of Statistics, BKC College and WBSU in memory of late Professor Dijesh Kumar Datta Majumdar, Emeritus Scientist, IIFT, Kolkata, during July 2020. May I interrupt? We welcome Professor Sougata Marjit, First Distinguished Professor in Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, Kolkata, who is our chief guest, who will address the convocation address. Thank you. So, a one-week-long international workshop on statistics and machine learning in practice was organized by IQAC and Department of Statistics, BKC College and WBSU in memory of late Professor Dijesh Kumar Datta Majumdar, Emeritus Scientist, IIFT, Kolkata during July 2020. State-level webinars on search of guidance on thought and social interaction in pandemic, philosophical, ethical and psychological perspective was jointly organized by the Departments of Sanskrit, Philosophy and Journalism and Mass Communication in July 2020. Pandemic 20, Mapping Global Migration was organized by Department of Political Science in July 20. Bangla Sahitya Otimari or Muhammari was organized by Department of Bengali with IQAC in August 20. An online quiz on COVID-19 awareness was organized by the Department of Education in August 2020 where 437 students actively participated. Fortunately enough, we could meet each other from November 21 onwards and we gradually moved towards normalcy. But we had then adopted the hybrid mode of teaching, learning and evaluation during the new normal situation. Gradually we moved towards the normal situation and our stakeholders have now got themselves accustomed to all modes of teaching, learning and evaluation. In spite of all these odds, I appreciate the effort taken by the faculty members of all the departments and the non-teaching staff who have worked relentlessly in keeping with the pace so steadily. I strongly believe that we can still bring out the best talents from this institution in near future. Thus, once founded for a suburban transitional section of the people of North Calcutta, the college has now found its way into the annals of those institutions that have all produced scholars of great merit and dedication for our state. Now, our journey to post-graduation. Firstly, I express my gratitude to all the governing body members and our late President Professor Dijesh Kumar Datta Majumdar, Emeritus Scientist, IIFT Kolkata, under whose guidance we could enlist our college as a postgraduate college under University Grants Commission. As the college celebrated the Diamond Jubilee in the year 2016, the postgraduate departments of Mathematics and Botany received its affiliation from the West Bengal State Council of Higher Education and the West Bengal State University, and it commenced its journey from 2017-18 onwards. However, the postgraduate department of Physics has started its journey from 22-23 session onwards. Now, the postgraduate department of Botany, the establishment of DBT Boost, biotechnology-based opportunities offered to science and technology, Boost 1 2014-19 through funding of 20 lakhs received for infrastructural development of the department under the Boost scheme, Department of Biotechnology, Government of West Bengal paved the way to its post-graduation. The college proceeded to set up the PG course in botany with specialization in plant biotechnology, for which affiliation had been received from the West Bengal State University in 2016, and the lab infrastructure and equipments were all procured from the DBT funded Boost program. The teaching learning evaluation process has been definitely upgraded by utilization of resources available from the BOOST program support. College has been able to set up the common instrumentation facility for the various life science departments by setting up the new biotechnology laboratory. The research facility for faculty in the college in the field of biotechnology has definitely gained the support from the BOOST program. An algal bioresource conservation work has already been initiated in the biotechnology laboratory through an UGC major grant of 13.7 lakhs from 2015 onwards. The international webinar series on biodiversity conservation and sustainable development, issues, challenges and outcome was organized by the department during August-September 2020. Currently, the Department of Botany is running an add-on course on grow your own mushroom, which will hopefully be a very successful course in the long run. The Postgraduate Board of Studies of Botany, headed by HOD Department of Botany WBSU, regularly provides guidance to the faculty for running the course successfully. The department provides research internships for students of other institutes also. 4 batches of students have already completed their post-graduation from this department. Some of them have opted for higher studies and there are a few who are already placed in the job market. The Postgraduate Department of Mathematics. The department started its journey from 2017 onwards on completion of the new annex building constructed with funds received from MP LAD 27 and UGC 16 lakhs. We owe our gratitude to Honorable Member of Parliament Professor Sougata for sanctioning funds for the new building. The Postgraduate Studies of Botany, Board of Studies of Mathematics, headed by HOD Mathematics WBSU, regularly provides guidance to the faculty for running the course successfully. The students of this department are guided by eminent retired professors of ISI, Calcutta and other universities for specialized topics, along with the efficient faculty of our college. The department organized the international webinar on biomathematical modeling of epidemics, focus on COVID-19 during the pandemic in June 20. As a mark of respect on Teachers' Day, a national webinar was organized on algebraic structures and its application in secure communications on September 2020, 5th September. It is noteworthy to state that 4 batches of students have completed their PG degree. From here, some of whom are successfully pursuing higher studies in reputed institutions. Some others are already placed in the job market. Now, the Postgraduate Department of Physics started its journey from 2022 onwards on completion of the new laboratory hosted besides the new annex building constructed with funds received from MP LAD. We owe our sincere gratitude to Honorable Member of Parliament Professor Sugata for providing grant of 14 lakhs to the MP LAD scheme for procuring all the instruments for PG Physics Laboratory. The PG Board of Studies of Physics, headed by HOD Department of Physics, regularly provides guidance to the faculty for running the course successfully, and the department has very efficient faculty who are actively engaged in various research programs. They have been providing guidance to students of other institutes for their postgraduate dissertation topics. Also, the faculty guiding PhD scholars registered under WBSU. Few of the teachers are publishing regularly in international journals of repute. Keeping with the pace, I sincerely hope to start more postgraduate departments in other sciences as well as arts faculty in near future. My sincere gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Mahua and the Registration and Controller Section of West Bengal State University for their immense help in executing this program. I express my sincere thanks to all the governing body members, members of IQAC, all faculty members of the Teachers Council, all non-teaching staff members, the postgraduate students, the NSS volunteers and the Students' Union volunteers for working relentlessly to make this day so memorable. Thank you. Now I invite Professor Mahua, Madam, Honorable Vice Chancellor, West Bengal State University, to address the August gathering.
Thank you very much, Honorable Principal Ma'am. I also am very much pleased that I can share the stage with the most honorable dignitaries seated on the chair, Professor Sougata Rai, Honorable MP and eminent academician, we all know, Professor Sugata Marjit, the distinguished first Professor, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade and the former Vice Chancellor of the Calcutta University, and the members of the governing body, the staff, students, and especially to all my teaching and principal fraternity present here, who are under the affiliation, mostly under the affiliation of West Bengal State University. I'm happy to meet all of you on this very precious day. After the very precise and descriptive, glorious history that has been cited by the principal of the college, Professor Papia Chakraborty, I don't want to prolong my deliberation because I know the students are impatient about receiving their degrees and certificates. So the convocation ceremony with the conferment of degrees and certificates should be starting as early as possible after we hear from the two most eminent dignitaries on stage, their speeches and deliberations. By way of giving my convocation note, I express firstly my thanks to the principal of this college for having invited me on this auspicious program. I convey my best wishes to all the faculty and staff members, the members of the governing body, and extend my love and affection to the students of the college who are participating in this grand event. West Bengal State University is privileged to include this outstanding college in its knowledge hub. I am honored to be present here to bestow the most valued certificates and degrees in the hands of the students. Brahmananda Keshab Chandra College carries the name of one of the leading intellectuals of the 19th century Bengal, a period popularly referred to as the Bengal Renaissance. It has been said that Raja Ram Mohan Roy started the process of modernization in India. And in this direction, Keshab Chandra Sen later joined as one of the prominent torchbearers. He was deeply concerned about the upliftment of the youth and wrote several books, one of which was entitled Young Bengal, This Is For You. As an astute journalist, Keshab Chandra Sen understood the role of the media as a tool for education of the masses, and it was through his efforts that the then famous newspaper, Indian Mirror, played a very significant role in the blossoming of Ram Krishna Mission movement. Please remind the name of Indian Mirror. It's a very important, because I know this college has got a very enriched media science and social media platform. So actually the history begins with Keshab Chandra Sen, who used to be the proponent of Indian Mirror, and this was connected to the later on to the movement of Ram Krishna Mission. This is very important point. Today we are in the midst of a digital age in which both the young and the older generation are greatly attracted to the social media. And people remain connected and get access to information by the use of internet and mobile phones. This is a very regular practice. Yet, traditional media like the print media, the newspapers, the television still remain as important ways of educating the masses, strengthening the democracy and contributing towards nation building. Now, there is no denying that through the use of technology, the learning process has become much faster and career-oriented students can achieve their goals more easily than before. There is internet, there is audio-visual clippings. We can always follow them in the website. We can always know the history and the geography of whatever we want to know. The general knowledge is increased day by day. The students have got a very important weapon in their hands, which previously we didn't used to have it. Our question remains, why still so many of our students are restless, trying to find answers amidst conflicting ideologies and problems touching both the individual and the society? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam wrote that the biggest problem the youth of India faced was a lack of clarity of vision. This is also the repeated version of Swami Vivekananda. The lack of clarity of vision and direction. He further stressed on the importance of education when he said, when learning is purposeful, creativity blossoms. Okay? When creativity blossoms, thinking emanates. See how valuable the words are. When thinking emanates, knowledge is fully lit. And when knowledge is lit, economy flourishes. So it's an all-round chain of events. You know what our ex-president APJ Abdul Kalam has said. What Maulana Abul Kalam has said is, he always felt that it's very necessary for a person to find out the purpose of life. It was not an easy task, but the pursuit of this quest is its own reward. Quoting a person couplet, he said, those who follow this path never tire, because it is both the way and the destination. So this was the version of Maulana Abdul Kalam. Last, I will conclude with Nelson Mandela, who said, education should be the youth's primary priority. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education not only trains the mind of the students in a variety of subjects, as the principal ma'am was saying, she was just repeating the success stories of different departments and achievements and beautiful, brilliant performances of the several arts and science departments of this college. It's really a feather on the cap of the college, and not only on the college but also on the university. Empowering the youth through training in leadership, critical thinking skills is a step forward towards the betterment of the country. Young people can also become agents of social change. This is very important. They have the fresh mind, they can become the agents of social change as much as the current leaders of our generation. It is important that we guide them by developing their skills, uplifting their spirits, holding them accountable and believing in them as the future leaders and pioneers of the society. Now I want to conclude here, and I again extend my good wishes to all, specifically the students community of this college, faculty and staff members, and thank the college authorities for requesting me to share my views on this great occasion. And I want to have a complementary relationship with all my fellow colleges, the university and the colleges. The sun and the stars around will make a beautiful galaxy in the world of academia. Thank you so much.
Professor Sougata Rai, Honorable Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha, to address this august gathering.
নমস্কার। আজকে ব্রহ্মানন্দ কেশবচন্দ্র কলেজের পোস্ট গ্রাজুয়েট সাবজেক্টের কনভোকেশনে আসতে পেরে আমি বিশেষ আনন্দিত। আমার যতদূর মনে পড়ছে যে এর আগে এই পোস্ট গ্রাজুয়েট কনভোকেশনে এই কলেজে আসার সুযোগ আমার হয়নি। আমার লোকসভা কেন্দ্রের মধ্যে আরও কিছু কলেজে পোস্ট গ্রাজুয়েট পড়ানো হয়, যেমন এপিসি কলেজ নবব্যারাকপুর, তাদের কনভোকেশনে আমি গিয়েছি। ভৈরব গাঙ্গুলি কলেজ বেলঘরিয়া, তাদের কনভোকেশনে আমি গিয়েছি। আমি আনন্দিত যে এখানে আপনাদের এই কনভোকেশনে আসতে পারলাম। আমি বেশি বক্তৃতা দিতে চাই না, তার কারণ আমি আসার পরে অধ্যাপক সুগত মার্জিত এখানে এলেন। আমি যত বুদ্ধিমান শিক্ষিত পণ্ডিত লোকদের চিনি যারা আছে পশ্চিমবাংলায়, সুগত মার্জিত তাদের অন্যতম। এবং উনি শুধু যে বড় পণ্ডিত তা নয়, উনি একজন মার্গসঙ্গীতের বিশেষজ্ঞ। সুতরাং উনি যা বলবেন তাতে অনেক কিছু শেখার থাকবে। প্রফেসর সুগত মার্জিত এর আগে পশ্চিমবাংলার উচ্চশিক্ষা পর্ষদের চেয়ারম্যান হিসেবে কাজ করেছেন। তার সময় উচ্চশিক্ষা একটা ভালো আকার পেয়েছিল। উনি চলে যাওয়ার পরে সেটা সেই মর্যাদা রক্ষা করা যায় না। আমি আশা করি আবার ভবিষ্যতে তার শিক্ষার সুযোগ আমরা পাব। এই যে আন্ডার গ্রাজুয়েট কলেজে পোস্ট গ্রাজুয়েট পড়ানো, এটা খুব বেশি দিন নয়, 10-15 বছর চালু হয়েছে। কিন্তু আমার মনে হয় এটা একটা পরীক্ষা যেটা সফল হয়েছে। তার কারণ প্রথমত সবচেয়ে বড় সুবিধা হচ্ছে এতে স্নাতকোত্তর ক্লাসে ছাত্রছাত্রীর সংখ্যা বেড়ে গিয়েছে। আমরা যখন পড়তাম আমাদের সীমিত সংখ্যা ছিল, যেই কলকাতা ভর্তি হয়ে যেত আর একজনের কোনো ভবিষ্যৎ থাকতো না। এখন অনেক জায়গায় স্নাতকোত্তর কোর্স চালু হয়, আরও বেশি ছেলে মেয়েদের স্নাতকোত্তর কোর্সে পড়া সম্ভব হয়েছে। এবং কলেজ সার্ভিস কমিশনের পরে অনেক খুব বুদ্ধিমান শিক্ষিত ভালো ছেলেমেয়েরা কলেজগুলোতে পড়াতে এসছে। তাদের বিদ্যা বুদ্ধির পূর্ণ ব্যবহার করা যায় যদি স্নাতকোত্তর আন্ডার গ্রাজুয়েট কলেজে পড়ানো যায়। আমি তাই সবসময় এটাকে উৎসাহ দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করি। এই বিকেসি কলেজে আমি দুবার সেই জন্য সাহায্য করেছি। এখানে যখন পদার্থবিদ্যায় স্নাতকোত্তর বিষয়ে চালু করা হলো, তখনও আমি ল্যাবরেটরির জন্যে আমার সাংসদ তহবিল থেকে টাকা দিয়েছিলাম। এবং আমার দুঃখ এই যে কলেজে আমি পড়াতাম এবং যে কলেজে বোধহয় 15 বছর ধরে আমি পরিচালন সমিতির প্রধান, সেখানে আমি পদার্থবিদ্যার স্নাতকোত্তর চালু করতে পারিনি। ওখানকার টিচাররা কী করে, শিক্ষকরা কিছুতেই মেনে নিচ্ছে না। যদিও আমরা ওই আশুতোষ কলেজে প্রায় 10টা বিষয়ে স্নাতকোত্তর চালিয়েছি, তার মধ্যে রসায়ন, কেমিস্ট্রি আছে, জুওলজি আছে, বটানি আছে, বাংলা আছে, ইতিহাস আছে, কম্পিউটার সায়েন্স আছে। তো ফিজিক্সটা আর আমি চালু করতে পারলাম না। সবচেয়ে বেশি দরকার কম্পিউটার সায়েন্সের স্নাতকোত্তর চালু করা। সেটা যারা করতে পেরেছে খুব ভালো। এপিসি কলেজ নিমব্যারাকপুর, তারা খুব ভালো কম্পিউটার সায়েন্সের কোর্স চালু করেছে। আমাদের এই ব্রহ্মানন্দ কেশবচন্দ্র কলেজে পদার্থবিদ্যা, গণিত এবং বটানি, উদ্ভিদবিদ্যায় স্নাতকোত্তর চালু হয়েছে। আমাদের প্রিন্সিপাল ম্যাডাম অধ্যক্ষা, তিনি বায়োসায়েন্সের লোক, জৈববিদ্যার লোক, এবং তার উৎসাহে একটা সাবজেক্ট হচ্ছে। তবে আমি আজকেই বললুম যে আরও 3-4টে চটপট করে খুলে ফেলুন। ধরুন যেগুলোতে ল্যাবরেটরি লাগে না, ইতিহাস, বাংলা, ইংরেজি, এগুলোতে সহজেই করা যায়। যে বিজ্ঞানের বিষয়ে ল্যাবরেটরির সমস্যা আছে এবং তার খরচের ব্যাপার আছে, সেটা হয়তো আস্তে আস্তে করতে হবে। কিন্তু শেষ পর্যন্ত অন্তত একটা বড় কলেজে 10টা স্নাতকোত্তর বিষয় পড়ানো উচিত বলে আমার মনে হয়। আমাদের এই গত এক প্যান্ডেমিক, তার আরও নানা গণ্ডগোলের জন্যে পশ্চিমবাংলায় শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থা একটু ধাক্কা খেয়েছে। এখন একটা সময় এসছে যখন আমাদের ঘুরে দাঁড়াতে হবে, এবং আমরা আশা করি যে এই বর্তমান সংকট থেকে আমরা বার হতে পারব। শিক্ষার সম্বন্ধে অধ্যাপিকা মহুয়া দাস, তিনি অনেক রকম বড় মানুষেরা কি কি বলেছেন সেটা বলেছেন। আমার মনে হয় এই সবের মধ্যে স্বামী বিবেকানন্দর যে উদ্ধৃতি সেটাই সবচেয়ে ভালো। তিনি বলেছেন, এডুকেশন ইজ দি ম্যানিফেস্টেশন অফ দ্য এক্সেলেন্স দ্যাট দেয়ার ইজ ইন ম্যান। আমাদের মধ্যে যে উৎকর্ষ আছে তার প্রকাশই হচ্ছে শিক্ষা। সুতরাং শিক্ষার কি মূল্য না মূল্য আছে তা বাদ দিয়েও বলা যায়, শিক্ষা মানুষকে মানুষ হিসেবে, মানুষ মানে মানুষীদের কথা বলছি আমি, সর্বোচ্চ পর্যায়ে নিয়ে যেতে পারেন। ব্যক্তি হিসেবে উৎকর্ষ একমাত্র শিক্ষার মাধ্যমেই হওয়া সম্ভব। কিন্তু তার সঙ্গে আরেকটাও বিষয় থাকে, সেটা হচ্ছে আমরা যে পড়ি শুধু জ্ঞান লাভের জন্য পড়ি, সেটা কতজন, 1% নয়। বাকিরা পড়ে কিছু চাকরি বাকরি পাওয়া যায়, পাশ করলেই সুবিধা হয় এই জন্যে, বা অন্য কিছু করার নেই বলে তারা পড়াশোনা করে। সুতরাং আমাদের শিক্ষাকে একটা ব্যবহারিক রূপ দিতে হবে। এক্ষুনি অধ্যক্ষা পাপিয়া চক্রবর্তীর ঘরে কথা হচ্ছিল, উনি বললেন যে এখানে এই অনেক বোটানিক্যাল গাছপালা লাগানো হচ্ছে। আমি ওকে উল্লেখ করলাম যে ভৈরব গাঙ্গুলি কলেজে এখানে নাকি বড় বড় মাশরুম, ব্যাঙের ছাতা তৈরি হচ্ছে। ভৈরব গাঙ্গুলি কলেজে ওরা মেডিসিনাল প্ল্যান্টসের বাগান করেছে। আবার ভাইস চ্যান্সেলর মহুয়া দাস বললেন যে ওর একটা বিরাট জলাশয় আছে, তাতে মাছ ভর্তি, তাতে মাছগুলো চুরি করে নিয়ে যায়। তা ওখানে যদি একটা পোস্ট গ্রাজুয়েট ইন্ডাস্ট্রিয়াল ফিশ অ্যান্ড ফিশারিজ পড়ানো যায়, তাহলে ওই মাছগুলোরও সদ্ব্যবহার হয়ে যায়, সবটা চুরি হয়ে যায় না। সুতরাং আমাদের এইটাও ভাবতে হবে যে কলেজগুলোর যা সম্পদ, রিসোর্সেস আছে, তাকে সবচেয়ে ভালোভাবে ব্যবহার করে কি করে আমরা শিক্ষাকে ব্যবহারিক করতে পারি। আমি আশা করি যে কলেজের কর্তৃপক্ষ এ নিয়ে চিন্তা করবেন। আমি যতক্ষণ আছি, কিন্তু 5 বছর বাদ আমাদের আবার পরীক্ষা দিতে হয়, ততক্ষণ আপনারা কিছু নতুন করলে অর্থের দিক থেকে অসুবিধা হবে না, এটা আমি নিশ্চিত করবো। এই উর্মিলা দিয়ে এসছে সরোজিনী নাইডু কলেজ, ওর কলেজে আমি অনেকদিন হলো লিফটের টাকা দিয়েছি, লিফট তৈরি হয়ে গেছে। হ্যাঁ, লিফট তৈরি হয়ে গেছে। আজকে আমি আসার পর পাপিয়াদি বললেন ওরও একটা লিফট হলে ভালো হয়, আমি তার জন্য দেবার চেষ্টা করি। কিন্তু প্রশ্ন তা নয়, প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে লিফটে কে চড়ছে সেটা বড় কথা নয়, লিফটে করে শিক্ষাটা উপর দিকে উঠছে কিনা সেটা সবচেয়ে বেশি দেখার দরকার আছে। আমি আশা করি সেগুলো আপনারা দেখবেন। আমি যে ছেলেমেয়েরা পাস করলো ফিজিক্স, বটানি এবং ম্যাথামেটিক্সে, তাদের শুভেচ্ছা জানাই, আশীর্বাদ করি যে তারা বড় হোক। আর আমি একটু সুগত মার্জিতের সঙ্গে আমি একটুক্ষণ কথা বলব, তাতে আমি দেখলাম যে এইসব লোকেদের সামনে কথা বলা উচিত নয়। উনি আমায় 10 মিনিটে বুঝিয়ে দিলেন যে একটা নতুন নাকি বিষয় তাতে উনি কাজ করেছিলেন, তাকে বলছে ইকোনমিক ফিজিক্স। ফিজিক্স এবং ইকোনমিক্স কী করে মিশতে পারে, এবং উনি আমায় বোঝালেন যে মিনকাউস্কির ম্যাট্রিক্সটা কীভাবে একই সাথে ফিজিক্সে এবং ইকোনমিক্সে লাগে। এইসব পণ্ডিত লোকেদের সামনে আমাদের বলা উচিত। আমরা মাঠে ময়দানে বক্তৃতা দেওয়ার লোক, তাও একটা সুযোগ পাপিয়া চক্রবর্তী দিয়েছেন, তাই আমি একটা কথা বলে গেলাম। আমি আশা করি যে ব্রহ্মানন্দ কেশবচন্দ্র কলেজের উত্তরোত্তর শ্রীবৃদ্ধি হবে এবং ছেলেমেয়েরা ভবিষ্যতে ভালো করবে। সবাইকে নমস্কার জানিয়ে আমার বক্তব্য শেষ করছি।
I express my thanks to Professor Sougata Roy for his generosity in providing funds to this college and expressing willingness for running other postgraduate courses. So I hope we'll get more funds from the MP-led if we wish to enhance our courses, upliftment of the courses here, brought here. And I also express my gratitude to Professor Mahua, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for willing to have memorandum of understanding with the university regarding the industrial fish and fisheries department and a few other departments which she has named. So we will collaborate with the university in running these courses, especially the postgraduate courses. She has expressed her willingness. So thank you, madam. We will do the thing and we will execute the thing as per norms. So now I invite our chief guest, Professor Sugata Marjit, Chief guest, who is the first distinguished professor, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, Government of India, and who happened to be the former Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University. Here is a brief bio of Professor Sougata Marjit. He was a topper in Calcutta University and a PhD from University of Rochester 1985 and is currently the Distinguished Professor of Indian Institute of Foreign Trade since 2019. His previous positions include the Reserve Bank of India Professorship at the Center of Studies in Social Sciences, Calcutta, and the first Sukhoma Chakraborty Chair Professorship at CESP JNU. He was the Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University, Director of the Center for Studies in Social Sciences, and Chairman of the West Bengal State Council of Higher Education. Professor Marjit has held visiting professorial positions and delivered invited lectures at around 50 major universities such as Bonn, Columbia, Copenhagen, Cornell, Dresden, Erasmus at Rotterdam, IIFT at UCL, Constance, Munich, Nottingham, Pennsylvania State University, Paris, etc. So a lot. National University of Singapore, Singapore Management University, City University of Hong Kong, Hong Kong Polytechnic University, etc. He has been a visiting scholar at the IMF, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and Federal Reserve Bank, USA. He has published around 200 papers in top international journals such as the American Economic Review, Journal of Economic Theory, European Economic Review, Journal of International Economics, Journal of Development Economics, Nature, Climate Change, etc. His books, edited volumes, and articles have been published by the Oxford University Press, Cambridge University Press, Princeton University Press, Springer, Nature, etc. He is a recipient of the Moholy-Novich Gold Medal of the Indian Econometric Society in 2002, awarded to Best Indian Economist below 45. The VKRV Rao National Prize as a Young Social Scientist in 2003 at below the age of 50, and the A.L. Nagar Fellowship 2020 of the Indian Econometric Society for the Best Economist between the age of 45 and 65. So far he is the only one to have received all three awards. He was invited as the university-wide distinguished visiting fellow at the Queen Mary University of London in 2018 and at the University of Dresden in 2022. Professor Marjit is a professional North Indian classical vocalist and has performed in major concerts around the globe, including few times at the famous Sankat Mochan Sangeet Samaroh at Varanasi, at the National Center for Performing Arts in Mumbai, at the Nehru Center in London, and in the Indian Embassy of New York. He is a State Drama Natya Academy Award winner for music direction for a play in 1995. So we have with us a multifaceted personality and an educationist. So thank you, Professor Marjit, for expressing your willingness to come here and address the convocation. Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure to be here today, and I know of a few faculty members of this very prestigious institutions, a very well-known one, and of course the postgraduate department of, I guess, botany and mathematics, which are celebrating their first convocation in some sense, is an added virtue to this great institution. Today what I plan to do is to give a brief lecture on what I think is very important from the local and global perspective on how we look at new technology and how new technology and human existence are related to each other. I am doubly honored and doubly privileged to share this dais with Honorable Vice Chancellor of WBSU, Honorable Sougata, the Principal, and other dignitaries, the faculty members, etc. Particularly, my relationship with Sougata goes a long time, a long way back. And when Sougata mentioned that within this very short while I was trying to sort of groom him with econophysics and Minkowski matrix, I told Sougata that you did not say that because I was talking to Sougata Rai, that's why I said this. I don't say this to anyone. And so Sougata is one of such a persons who understands the utility of having great public institutions in higher education. He himself is an emblem of scholarship. Those who have known Sougata for a long time, he knows that he has been always in support of great initiatives in this state for higher education, and he himself stands out as a good example. Of course, I know Mahua for quite some time. In fact, Mahua was a member of my council, the higher education council. And at that time, we were all trying to work very hard towards establishing a new order of higher education in the state. Now, sometimes we are successful, sometimes we are not, but struggle and progress move hand in hand. So essentially, nothing is permanent in this world. So if it is a dark spot that is transient, and it just signals that there are better ways that we can proceed in future. Now, my today's talk, which I try to sort of elaborate, is related to some of the work that I have been doing with some of my colleagues in different institutions here in India and outside. And this has to do with the fact that what role new technology has for humans. This is a very critical question that faces this world today, and particularly it also is a very critical issue, an important issue for India. The idea that we are in a new technology world. Now, new technology means that essentially these technologies are typically are those which actually make humans redundant in a process of production, creation of knowledge, as well as production and creation of goods and services. Because the idea that new technology or the idea of a new technology in 50s, 60s, even earlier in 20th century or even 19th century, and the idea of new technology today are extremely different, are very different. And you have to realize, as students of science and students from any discipline who are going to encounter this new technology in their working life, that there is a serious problem of technology adoption, technology use, technology creation, and how it is going to actually help the human society in general. Is it going to make the human existence really redundant? Is it going to make certain aspects of human life that are not helped or supported by the emergence of certain technologies? On the other hand, what we see in the world, what we see in the global context, the role of technology in supporting, in sustaining, or in creating conflict situations in societies in terms of rising inequality. So let me give you certain statistical anecdotes first, and then I'm going to talk a bit about the problems. In a very recent book by Richard Baldwin called The Great Convergence, Baldwin, an economist, he argues that there is a clear-cut evidence in last 3 to 4 decades that the inequality across the world actually has declined, which means that a group of developing countries 40 years ago would have, let's say, X percentage of world GDP at their disposal. And now the value is Y, where Y is substantially greater than X. This is the first time in history of mankind when the rich nations' share in world GDP has declined. So this is a case where we look at, this is a case what we always try to emphasize, that when someone was giving a talk in a convocation in early part of 20th century or mid part of 20th century, which was all about rising inequality across nations. But now the inequality has subsided to some extent. But there is a different problem that has emerged. Everywhere in the world, within country, inequality is soaring high. So across countries inequality, when you compare US and India, or US, UK, Europe on one hand, and India, China and Indonesia on the other hand, it is the latter group which has done very well. But the situation is as bad as it is in US, as it is in the rich nations, as in the developing countries in terms of rising inequality within nations. Now, why this inequality is rising? Mind you, why we are talking about inequality, we are not talking about absolute changes in income or standard of living, which again were a very important issue if I was giving this talk 50 years ago. Because at that stage, we were all worried about the poverty rates in India. Now, very interestingly, a simple statistical rule, I think, you would be able to remember and always use it in your different kind of platforms. In 1940s, every child that was born in India had a probability of more than 75%, 3/4, to end up under poverty. This is a very simple kind of a extension of an argument if people say that you have 75% of people under poverty line, which means anybody who's born then would have a 3/4 chance actually being a poor person when they grow up. By the same argument, now, even if the opposition is quarreling with whoever there is in power, or there are very subtle and very difficult complex calculations showing that what is really the poverty rate in India, but the fact remains that India's poverty rate is pretty low compared to what it was when we became independent. So the question is not about absolute income or standard of living. There is a big problem in understanding the situation in the developing countries today, because we feel or we see that many policymakers actually are again living maybe in a world which they thought has not changed in the last 80 years. So the point is, essentially, poverty is not a problem. Poverty is on the decline. But the problem is inequality. So, to sort of give a much briefer kind of description of the process, suppose there is a new technology that comes to the world, who is able to use it more effectively? Very interestingly, there is a book by an economics Nobel laureate of University of Chicago, still living, Robert E. Lucas Jr., lectures on economic growth, and I think economists, if they are around, must have heard of Lucas. And in his book, Lucas talks about a fantastic way of interpreting the new technology as we understand, as he understood in 1988, because the book was published, 1995, but the new technology of 90s compared to a new technology of 40s, or even earlier, electricity, steam engines. You see, electricity, when electricity was not there, it came in as a new technology. What is the difference between electricity and computer? Very interesting difference. In electricity, actually to switch on the fan to get the advantage of this light, I can go and switch it on. So you don't need to be Professor Sougata to actually know how to switch it on. And you don't have to be prepared with some degree of critical minimum skill to use the technology. It is the same thing as when horses and cows only were used for cultivation. Now you are using tractors or even some more sophisticated machine-driven technology. But it is easy to actually drive a tractor. You really don't need to be a high school graduate to actually run a tractor. But this is very different from a technology where you say, all right, I give you the best laptop that has now come out in the world maybe 2 weeks ago. And I give you the best laptop. And I give it to a very good computer scientist or someone who is very good with computers, and somebody gives it to me. To me, even a laptop that was produced 20 years ago is good enough. Because my knowledge and my awareness of technology and technique is not good enough to use that laptop. But those who can use it are going to do great. In fact, you can think of superlative outcomes. So the question is, when a new technology comes, how well prepared you are to use that technology. This is a problem that we should understand, particularly in countries where the demographic pattern is rich in terms of having very energized youth population, but this young population are not really skilled or educated. This is very different from how you're going to use this technology in a country where people are much more well prepared. So Lucas writes how fertility and technology is related. Because the rich countries at a time, there was a time when they understood that if you are really not controlling fertility, you are not giving proper education to kids in the family. Because if you have 4 kids, only one can get good education. This is a problem for countries like India and many other countries like in Africa with lots of, with high fertility rates. The interesting part is, if the new technology is not knowledge dependent, then fertility may not have much to do with it. So you may have 4 kids, each can be a good farmer and each can drive a tractor. But you have 4 kids, there will be only one who can actually do something with this very sophisticated computer. So the question therefore was that how will they educate their children? So the history divided a phase of, history gave us a time, a phase, a kind of situation where countries were differentiated according to the fertility rates. Those who had higher fertility rates in later years could adapt to new technology much better because they were putting most of the kids in education. Those had higher fertility rates suffered because they could not actually adapt to this new technology that much. So the problem still remains, what is this new technology delivering or capable of delivering to people at large, to humans at large? Now coming to the second phase of my discussion, technology, if you ask somebody what is the technology or a new technology, the human history tells you that why do you innovate? Why do you commercialize certain new methods of production? Certain chips, semiconductors, ability of the computers to think. All of these are related to making humans redundant. I had a relative, a young boy, who is a PhD in chemical engineering in US, but he also took a license of brokerage in US. He's one of the richest real estate developers in Phoenix area. But he's a chemical engineer. So I asked him that, he's a Bengali, and he comes from a business family. And he said, "Uncle, I want to retire as early as possible as a millionaire." You see, I want to retire as a millionaire because the fundamental objective is I don't have to work. I am making myself redundant. How quickly I can make myself redundant? I developed technology, for example, robots cleaning houses during COVID periods. My friends hired robot technology to clean up their rooms in Salt Lake. There were quite a bit of robots sold as robot sweepers. Now it is possible because you are not allowing people to come in physically because of the COVID problems. So they were doing that. But the interesting part is, suppose tomorrow we all replace our domestic helps with robots. And the thing is, a rich society can afford to do that. Right? A rich society can buy robots. A rich society can do lots of things. So what we are doing really, in some ways we are minimizing the requirement for humans. A sophisticated cement company today, remember that in our childhood when you go to a cement factory, there will be hundreds of people working there. Today you go to a cement factory in India, top of the line cement factory, you don't see double-digit employees. Everything is automated. Right from the way when it is mixed, the materials are mixed, to their truckload. In economics, economists had a solution. They said that yes, you can cut back cost of production. You can produce things very quickly. So if you do that, then the positive effect of it is that you produce more in volumes, so that ultimately people are absorbed. So it is not only a cutback in cost of production, but expansion in output. What economists very popularly call as the output effect or the volume effect. Interestingly, if really one is serious about doing some research on the role of new technology in creating volumes which would further absorb human beings, you'll be really, really frustrated. Now somebody, in the Bonvita quiz contest type of debates, or sometimes in television channels, given the fact that our awareness and enlightenment across this country have entered a age of frustration, you see people will say, oh, we have so many apps. Isn't that helping us? Now, first of all, these apps are not being generated, are not being produced by Indians. In fact, most of the apps that we use in many cases are actually Chinese apps. Of course, with apps you can use Paytm. With apps you can use information. There is nobody, this thing. It is possible that with this information you are running your business more efficiently. That is possible. But my question is very simple. Is there any fundamental paper, research paper? And as professors of any discipline, I think all of you are like that in my group of profession. I am not in the habit of producing, cuts and pastes from newspapers to, glorify our research. Research has methods. So if I say, give me the ability of a new technology, new however you define it, to generate demand for human workers, human labor, in a big way, so that it is consistent with the demographic trends of most of the countries. Technology, most of it, 90% of it, and even more of it, are actually generated in USA and Europe, and in Japan, and in few other countries. These countries always suffered from shortage of labor. Why do you think this idea came? I wanted to be a millionaire in the shortest possible time. Why do you think this idea came that I have generated a technique, a machine, which does not require any human being to do anything? Because the evolution of technology went hand in hand with the evolution of economic development. So a country became United States, shortage of workers. And in fact, now let me tell you, the emerging problem in the globe is actually shortage of workers in the rich countries. Now, I was in Germany a couple of months ago, and there are umpteen number of shops which look like barren fields for playing soccer, where they don't have any salesperson. And you ask them that, I want to buy something which is an electronic good which requires some degree of knowledge. He said, yes, but we don't have any salesperson, you have to stand in the queue. Never saw that in Germany before. The whole West now is reeling under the shortage of labor. And the fact is, the recent article in the Economist magazine talks about that we are in a very peculiar situation. Stock markets are flying high. People think that this Russian war or the high price of oil is a transient phenomenon. But there is no evidence that they are. And nobody knows that what will you do when the Western countries has the lowest rate of unemployment in their lifespan of last 50 years. It is not only that people, it's not unemployment is a very interesting issue here. People just don't want to work. This is not really unemployment. But you give the newspaper and business magazines their privilege to confuse readers, but that's different. People just don't want to work. A German friend of mine said that I wanted a sole of my shoe. Previously, when you ordered to an agency or a company, you have to order because these are high-cost nations. You will get it within a week. Now for 1 month you don't get it. And they said that we don't have workers. But it's not that. If you really look at the prosperity of people, you can easily see. There is a lot of money pumped in during the time of COVID, so people are rich. They don't want to work now. So they would like to work when they will be poor. The point that I'm trying to make is that shortage of labor in this world, or in anticipation of scarce resource called labor, all these innovations have taken place. And we promptly, like a new colonized nation, we take a technology that has come up in US and then tell everybody about it and saying that, oh, how sophisticated, polished, and how fantastic this new technology is. Let us all adopt. But nobody understands that there was a reason that this technology was innovated in those countries. Those reasons don't exist here. So just to wrap up, I would like to say this is a food for thought for all of you, the students particularly. What do you understand about technology? What do you understand about the role of humans in technology or in technology adoption? Is it true that the world is increasingly moving towards a state where there will be no demand for people? And why not? There are certain automatic forces. You see, electricity or steam engines or different kind of labor using technology were also products of, fantastic innovative minds, which also led to expansion of products and services which could use further humans. But this is not happening now. Virtual trade and exchange, digital world, apps, and people's physical apathy towards use their physique, people's apathy to exert as little as possible. Now there is substantial epidemiological evidence that the role of the immunity difference between poor people and rich people are enormous, and COVID has actually demonstrated. And this immunity, inherent lack of immunity, inability of ours to confront adverse situations of nature, are coming simply because we are becoming less physical. And new technology is pampering our emotion in that way. It's a pessimistic view of life, but we have to question what is so new about it. And new things help people. Are these new things helping us? Or what kind of new things can still help us or are helping us? There are people, if you go to YouTube, there is a very well-known economist, his name is Darren Asimoglu. He is at MIT, who is a John Bates Clark Medal winner, which is under 40 best American economists. Darren Asimoglu has many YouTube shows in which he talks about how new technology can help humans and how it is not helping humans, and why corporate sector is not worried, because they were never worried whether it helps or hurts humans. So why public policy makers or public policy people or politicians, people's representatives? It's very interesting that we often say that it is people representatives who have to be blamed for everything under the sun. Well, a large part of it we can blame them, definitely. But the point is, no one in the history of mankind, except those who were just remarkably benevolent human beings. There was no need for Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar or Ram Mohan Rai or Swami Vivekananda to do things for humanity which they did. And these examples are not rare in any country. But the fact is, be aware, self-interest driven individuals is the cornerstone of modern capitalism. And idea of public service, public good, negative externality, environmental or sustainable kind of, and sustainable, environmentally consistent, inequality, countering effects of policies ultimately would come from the public policy makers, people's representatives, to make them more educated, and their role, because essentially we cannot have the market to have a go. The market will actually, in many circumstances, will eliminate people. So there is a cautious step or many cautious steps that we have to undertake. And as students of science, and wherever, also as of humanities, because you are going to encounter new technology in your professional life, I think you should ask yourself this question. On you depends a lot of things. Because if you write something on public opinion, if you actually do something which changes this a little bit, that is new technology, anything that comes new in this world is for the welfare of humans, and welfare of animals, and welfare of living beings, and the welfare of Mother Nature, which actually sustains us. But is it true that the way we are so gaga, we were so excited, and we are sort of all jumping in joy about new technology, and the way we understand, the top corporate executives, when I discuss with them, I sometimes get completely pissed off by the shallow nature of their awareness. So you ask a top executive of a cement factory, then why do you have 10 people now and you used to have 250 people? He will give you 20 lectures on how it is making world a better place. World is not made better place by absolutely profit-driven, with a shallow view of life and society, and view of innovations which are completely self-serving. So as students, you are beyond this, because still your mind is fresh. It's not clogged with all kinds of prejudices, all kinds of opinionated ideas and so on. So I think this would be a great thing for you to think more about it, about how new technology and humans are related, whether humans are going to be redundant. Is it happening faster here in India or in other countries, or is it happening faster everywhere? So those would be interesting things to think about. So it's an open-ended question. I don't have any answer. So I hope some of you pick it up and will do the needful, and I'm sure that all of you have thought about it. I'm just sort of spearheading some food for thought. Thank you very much.
She was going from the US, where she was going beside a self-driven car. The car was driverless. So you can understand how technology is proceeding onwards. Like Professor Marjit has said that instead of domestic help, robots were hired or robots were bought for domestic use in Calcutta itself. So we can understand how technology is proceeding and how it is taking our way of human labor. So what we need now is skill enhancement. We need to enhance our skills through technology only. Because the companies, the corporate companies are hiring only those who are technology, who know technology well, who are skilled personnel. Otherwise, there is a recession going on in the global market. So there are two aspects. The other aspect is what he has highlighted is we are losing the innate immunity within us because we are technology driven and we are sitting idle. So any sort of disease, any sort of infections we cannot combat because we are losing the innate immunity. The kids of this generation, you please be aware, even if you use technology, your physical fitness is equally required. So be physically fit as well as mentally uplifted to cope with the situation in the coming days. So thank you, Professor Marjit, for your elucidating lecture. Now I proceed. I proceed with the conferment of degrees. Will the candidates for the conferment of degrees of Master of Science in Botany and Mathematics please stand up and remain standing until I request them to resume their seats. Madam Vice Chancellor, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Botany and recommended may be conferred on them.
recommended and admit you all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, and by virtue of the authority vested in me as Vice Chancellor of this university, charge you that ever in your life and conversation you show yourselves worthy of the same. Please be seated.
Now the candidates list will be now presented by the IQSC coordinator, Professor Sheikh Ahmed Hussain. The IQSC coordinator will read a year-wise list of postgraduates.
Upasana Ganguly, Indrajit Maiti, Otri Roy Chaudhary, Trisha Dattoboni. The principal will hand over the Orpita Ghosh, Rumela Moitro, Upasana Ganguly, Indrajit Maiti, Otri Roy Chaudhary, Trisha Dattoboni, PG Mathematics 2019, Supradeep Chakraborty, Subhash Pramanik, Omkita Datta, Omkita Datta, Bornali Dasboidako, (2019). Now MSc Mathematics, MSc Botany 2020. Riti Clara Biswas, Oindrila Ganguly, Madhuri Misra, Madhuri Misra, Omkita Manna, Onumita Goharai, Onumita Goharai, স্বরলিপি ঘোষ। MSc Mathematics 2020, Tanima Som. শ্রবণ দাস। যারা সার্টিফিকেট পেয়েছো তোমার জায়গায় বসে পড়ো, যারা সার্টিফিকেট পেয়ে গেছো তোমরা তোমাদের জায়গায় বসে পড়ো। অন্বেষা পাল। শ্রী স্বরূপ মুখার্জি। সায়ানী ঘোষাল। Now MSc in Botany 2021. Niharika Das. Niharika Das. Madam. সুদেশনা দে। অনন্যা দাস। অনন্যা দাস ঘোষ। MSc Mathematics 2021, সৌমি সাধু খান। শ্রেয়া চক্রবর্তী। সুদীপ্ত দাস। সুদীপ্তা দাস। Now MSc Botany 2022, অঙ্গনা সেনগুপ্ত। শ্রেয়সী কর। সুস্মিতা বিশ্বাস। সুস্মিতা বিশ্বাস। তৃষা দেবনাথ। ময়না ভট্টাচার্য। ঋতিকা ঘোষ। শালিনী দত্ত। শিউলি মান্না। MSc Mathematics 2022, Sheikh Faiz Alam। শিউলি মান্না। MSc in Mathematics 2022, Set 5 alum, Sougata Business, Sampurna Sannal, Pratiti Dotto, Ritika Das, Ritika Das, Kirtimita Goswami, kindly be seated in your respective seat arrangement. We'll be having one more formality in absence here.
To be duly qualified to receive the degrees of the university from the office of the principal. Please read out the in absence here.
Absentee list: Devanjali Bhattacharya, MSc in Botany, 2G Mathematics, 2022 batch. Jagosini Banerjee, MSc in Mathematics, 2022 batch.
Now, after the conferment of the degrees and the award of postgraduates, the IIFT coordinator shall call the names of recipients of medals to be awarded on the results of examinations, whereupon each candidate whose name is so called shall proceed to the president and guest of honor to receive their medal from them. In botany stood first with 79% marks among all passed out candidates in the subject India. Pramanik, 19 batch, mathematics, MSc in mathematics. Stands straight. First rank with 77.6% marks among all passed out candidates. Certificate. Second. She has. Sorry, come ahead.
Riti Clara Biswas, MSc in Botany, 2020. Riti Clara Biswas, give a big hand. Give a big hand. Riti Clara Biswas, MSc in Botany, 2022, first class in MSc in Botany, 2020. Shravan Das, first class first in MSc Mathematics 2020. Shravan Das. Soumi Sadhu Khan, MSc in Mathematics 2021 batch. First class first in MSc Mathematics 2021 batch. Niharika Das, সাধুকান, একটা নিহারিকা দাস গেল না?
আমাকে বললে পারি
নিহারিকা দাস, MSc in Botany, first class pass in MSc Botany 2021. Ritika Das, MSc in Mathematics 2022, first class first. Ritika Das. Sreyosi Kaur, MSc in Botany in the year 2022. Sreyosi Kaur.
Come down from that side.
Sreyosi Kaur happens to be our UG student, so she is a BKC college student throughout.
Show you medal and medal. Thank you so much everyone for your kind presence and a wonderful gathering today. Our academic procession includes and it is led by the presiding officer of the first convocation of Brahmananda Chandra College, Professor Papiya Chakraborty, Principal Brahmananda Chandra College. We have in our academic procession Professor Mahua, Vice Chancellor, West Bengal State.